Hello guys, Panibagong araw, panibagong accounting video na naman. Okay? But this time, intermediate accounting to naman tayo under quasi-reorganization. So, under ito ng retained earnings. No? So, madali lang to. Actually, ito ang isa sa pinakamadaling topic sa accounting, sa financial accounting. Okay? So, kung ready ka na, tara na. So, ano ba muna ang quasi-reorganization? Ang quasi-reorganization po is an optional process that lets a financially troubled entity restate its accounts to create a fresh start. O, di ba? Yung mga palubog na po ng mga korporasyon, financially troubled sila, di ba? Under brink of bankruptcy, may optional process sila na restate nila yung accounts nila para magkaroon sila ng fresh start. No? Pinapahintulutan sila ng standard na magkaroon ng restate ng accounts para magkaroon sila ng fresh start. Specifically, no, a quasi-reorganization is the procedure of restating assets, liabilities, and share capital balances in conformity with fair value for the purpose of eliminating a deficit. No, so ang pinakapuso ng quasi-reorganization po ay ma-eliminate yung deficit. How? By restating yung mga assets, liabilities, and equity balances into fair value. Alright? So, ano po ba yung mga circumstances na nagwa-warrant or nagde-justify na pwede kang mag-enter sa quasi-reorganization? First, when a large deficit exists, no, kapag po laging net loss yung kumpanya, hindi na po sila nagkakaroon ng net income, kaya meron na silang accumulated deficit. Pwede na silang mag-quasi-reorganization dyan, i-restate na nila into fair value para magkaroon ng fresh start. Oh, so pwede rin kapag aprobado ng shareholders and creditors, 'di ba? When the cost basis of the accounting for property, plant and equipment becomes unrealistic. Hindi na po kapani-paniwala yung cost, yung carrying amount ng property, plant and equipment. Hence, kinakailangan na silang i-restate into fair value. Okay? And lastly, kung yung fresh start daw appears to be desirable or advantageous to all parties concerned. O kung advantageous naman yung pagkakaroon ng fresh start, bakit hindi? Bakit hindi natin gawin? Di ba? And note, yung quasi-reorganization po, it must be approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission or the SEC. Dapat aprobado muna ng SEC bago magkaroon. Okay? So, ang quasi-reorganization po is also called corporate readjustment and may be accomplished through letter A, recapitalization and revaluation of property, plant, and equipment. So, pwede kang magkaroon ng quasi-reorganization through these two method. Pwede kang mag-undergo under recapitalization or pwede kang mag-revalue ng PPE mo. So, simulan natin sa illustration na to. No, paano naman sir kung recapitalization? Paano ka magkakaroon ng quasi-reorganization through recapitalization? So, an entity provided the following statement of financial position at year-end prior to quasi-reorganization. Tignan mo yung current assets niya, PPE, diba, net of accumulated depreciation, liabilities, share capital. And kapansin-pansin na mayroon siyang retained earnings na deficit. No? Meron siyang deficit sa retained nito. So, dyan pa lang, masasabi mo na kailangan nito ng fresh start. Kasi nga, di ba, malaki na yung deficit. Malaki na yung deficit, kaya magkakaroon na ng quasi-reorganization. Ano pa yung sabi? The shareholders and creditors agreed to quasi-reorganization. Accordingly, yung following restatements should be made. Yung PPE daw, it shall be recorded at the fair value of 6 million. Yung inventory naman ay overvalued to the extent of 250K and shall be revalued accordingly. Yung share capital is reduced to 2 million, 20,000 shares na 100 par value. And lastly, yung resulting deficit daw is charged to share premium arising from the reorganization. Immediately after the quasi-reorganization, ano daw yung total shareholders' equity? So simulan natin. Sir, paano ba yung process nito? So simulan natin step by step. Step number 1, revalue muna tayo. Ang sabi dun sa PPE daw, dapat daw recorded yan at fair value. Alam natin, no? Alam natin kanina na yung retained earnings or na may deficit tayo na nagkakahalagang 2 million. So lagay natin dyan, negative 2 million. And yung PPE natin kanina, alam natin na presented yun sa financial statements natin, net of accumulated depreciation na nagkakahalagang 6.5 million. So, lagay natin dyan, net carrying amount. Oh. Sir, yung fair value naman ito. Remember, kapag fair value na ang binigay, already net of accumulated depreciation na yan. So, nabawas na dyan yung accumulated depreciation na consider na. Now, diba? When an entity goes through a quasi-reorganization, yung carrying amounts are stated at fair value. Dapat po, fair value ang susundan. Hindi yung carrying amount, hindi yung cost. So, fair value will prevail. Pero alam natin na recorded yan sa FS at 6.5 million. Pero dapat 6 million lang. Kaya yung asset mo, babawasan mo pa. Diba? In effect, yung asset mo, babawasan mo pa. And kung nabawasan ang asset, mababawasan din ang equity. Alright? Kapag nabawasan ang asset, bawas din sa equity. Di ba? Mayroon tayong ALOE, yung equation natin. Pag nabawasan yung asset, bawas din dyan. So, pag nabawasan pero yung liability, madadagdagan yung owner's equity. Alright? So, kapag asset to equity, direct. Kapag liability and owner's equity, indirect. Alright? So, babawasan pa yung equity. Sir, paano? Paano mo babawasan yung equity? By adding more deficit. O, di ba? Meron kang negative 2 million na deficit. O, paano mo pa mas babawasan yung equity mo? Eh di dagdagan mo pa yung nagpapabawas. Di ba? Dagdagan mo pa yung deficit para mabawasan pa mas lalo yung equity mo. Dagdagan mo pa yung nagpapabawas. Yun ang yung sinasabi ko dyan. Alright? No, so, yun na. Yung effect nito, yung net carrying amount niya kasi 6.5. So, overvalued siya ng 500K. So, sobra yung asset mo, di ba? Pag sobra yung asset mo, dapat bawasan mo yung equity mo. Okay? So, may additional ka na 500K na mapupunta sa retained deficit. Alright? So, tignan natin yung inventory kanina. Overvalued daw siya ng 250K and shall be revalued accordingly. Remember, ang inventory under current asset yan na nagkakahalagang 1 million. Ilagay natin dyan. And sabi, overvalued daw yung inventory. Sobra ng 250K. E di pwede natin sabihin 750K lang yung fair value. Diba? Kasi yung inventory mo at cost, carried at cost, overvalue siya. O, so sumobra na over ng 250K. O di babawasan mo yung equity mo. Babawasan mo yung asset mo, babawasan mo rin yung equity mo. How? Magdagdag ka pa ng additional deficit. Di ba? Pag nagdagdag ka ng additional deficit, in effect, mababawasan pa yung equity mo. Alright, so pwede na nating i-sum up. No? Pwede na nating i-sum up kasi yan lang naman yung nagpa-adjust sa retained earnings deficit mo eh. Diba? So kung total mo yan, 2.75 million. No? Okay, so okay ka na sa step 1. Tignan naman natin step 2, yung reduction daw sa share capital. Yung share capital is reduced to 2 million. O, ano ba yung context nito, sir? Di ba may pinakita kanina sa financial statements na 5 million daw yung share capital prior or before quasi-reorganization. O, lagay natin dyan. And remember, wala tayong share premium. Wala tayong share premium sa financial statements natin kanina, share capital lang. Pero ang sabi, yung share capital daw reduced to. No, reduced to 2 million. Ang pag sinabi mong reduced to, yun na yun. Yun na yun. Yun na yung amount. Paano sir kung reduced by? Mababawasan pa. O, pag reduced to, yun na yung ending amount. Pag reduced by, mababawasan pa ng 2 million. O, ang sinabi kasi dito, ang context kasi natin is reduced to. Magiging 2 million na siya. Paano sir kung ang sinabi sa problem, reduced by 2 million. O di yung 5 million, babawasan mo pa ng 2 million. Kaya 3 million. No? Pero kasi dito, reduced to 2 million. Magiging 2 million na siya kasi 2. Reduced to. Kaya in effect, di ba, 3 million na yung mababawasan sa share capital mo. Dito papasok yung kahalagahan ng recapitalization kasi nagre-recapitalize tayo eh. 'Di ba? Yung 3 million na bawas sa share capital, mapupunta yan sa share premium. I-recapitalize mo papuntang share premium. Alright? O di okay ka na sa step 2. Step 3, okay na daw, i-charge mo na daw yung deficit against the share premium. Ang sabi dun sa problem, yung resulting deficit is charged to share premium arising from the reorganization. Alam natin kanina may share premium tayo, di ba? After quasi-reorganization, dahil nagkaroon tayo ng share premium kasi nabawasan yung share capital natin. Nag-recapitalization tayo. Ni-recapitalize natin yung share capital natin papuntang share premium. O kaya nagkaroon ka ng share premium, 'di ba? Tapos meron kang adjusted deficit na 2,750,000 na yan yung mga in-adjust natin kanina sa PPE sa inventory. Kaya ang adjusted share premium mo 250,000 na lang. Bakit? Kasi yung resulting deficit daw, i-charge mo sa share premium arising from the reorganization. Kaya ang adjusted share premium mo na lang 250,000. Okay? And note, immediately after a quasi-reorganization, yung retained earnings natin, mayroon na lang zero balance. Or wala na itong balance. Kasi na-eliminate na natin yung deficit eh. Diba? So in effect, yung 2,750,000 na yan, wala na yan. Hindi na yan i-represent sa financial statements natin. Kasi na-eliminate na natin yan through recapitalization of share capital, no? Through charging the share premium against the deficit. Okay? Or through charging the deficit against the share premium rather. Kaya 250,000 na lang yung mapupunta sa share premium natin, yung ending balance ng share premium. O, ang tanong, immediately after the quasi-reorganization, ano daw yung total shareholders' equity? Alam natin yung share capital natin, 2 million na lang kanina. 'Di ba sabi ko sa share capital, reduce to 2 million. O, yung share premium natin, 250,000 na lang kasi dinidak na natin dun yung deficit eh. O, so ang total share na lang natin, 2,250,000. Kaya ang sagot sa problem natin kanina, letter A. Alright? So, inom lang ako ng tubig. So, drink your water lang, no? Drink your water, guys, no? Pag nangikinig na, nanonood kayo ng videos. Meron akong teacher sa CPAR, no, sa review center, si Sir Alan. So, umiinom din siya ng tubig kapag nagdi-discuss siya sa review center sa online. So, umiinom din ako ng tubig pag umiinom siya. Di ba? At least, di ba? At least may break. Di ba? Hindi tuloy-tuloy. Hindi naman tuloy-tuloy, no? So, hinga din, hinga. hinga muna, hinga. Okay? So, another illustration, no? Revaluation naman ng PPE. Medyo na-crop lang kasi nandyan yung video ko. Pero PPE yan. True revaluation naman ng PPE. Tingnan natin. An entity has sustained heavy losses over a period of time and conditions warrant that the entity should undergo a quasi-reorganization at year-end. The statement of financial position at year-end prior to the reorganization is as follows. Oh, my current assets, my PPE, my goodwill. My current liab, my share capital, my share premium, and kapansin-pansin na meron tayong deficit. 2 million na naman. Alright? So, the Securities and Exchange Commission approved the quasi-reorganization based on the unrealistic valuation of PPE. Accordingly, the SEC recommended that the property, plant, and equipment must be revalued by an independent expert. So, ito yung revaluation niya nung independent expert. Yung property, plant, and equipment daw are determined to have replacement cost of 9 million. The inventory is to be written down by 400K. And yung goodwill is to be written off. Unrecorded accounts payable amounted to 200K and any resulting deficit is charged against the revaluation surplus. Tanong, immediately after the quasi-reorganization, what is the adjusted balance of revaluation surplus? So, step by step na naman, di ba? Step by step. Step 1, compute the revaluation surplus. Siyempre, yung deficit, i-charge natin sa revaluation surplus. Hindi pa nga natin alam magkano yung revaluation surplus. So, i-compute muna natin. Pero, ang alam natin, yung PPE daw natin, determined to have a replacement cost of 9 million. No? And alam natin na yung PPE natin, net of accumulated depreciation, presented yan sa FS natin kanina at 3.5 million carrying amount. O, so maglatag tayo ng table. Lagay natin yung cost, 5 million. Accumulated depreciation, 1.5. No? Kung titignan natin, nasa intermediate accounting 1 topic na ito ng revaluation model. No? Yung 1.5, i-divide mo sa 5 million, 30% yan. Bakit po natin kinuha yung 30%, sir? Mahalaga yan. Kasi gagamit tayo ng proportional approach. Kung silent ang replacement cost or ang revaluation problem, no? Gagamit ka na lang ng proportionate approach. I-apportion mo or i-proportionate mo yung accumulated depreciation ng cost sa replacement cost. So 1.5 divided by 5 million, that's 30%. No? Kunin ko lang yan. So ang carrying amount mo, 3.5 million. O, binigyan tayo ng replacement cost kanina, 9 million. Pero hindi tayo binigyan ng accumulated depreciation. Replacement cost lang yung binigay. Doon papasok yung kahalagahan ng 30% kanina. Yung gagamit tayo ng proportionate approach. 9 million multiplied by 30%, 2.7 million yung accumulated depreciation. O, di ba? Proportionate na siya. 30%, di ba? 30% to, 30% dito. 30% ito ng 5 million, then 30% din ito ng 9 million. O, proportionate approach. Kung ibabawas mo yung 2.7 million sa 9 million, 6.3 million na lang. Sir, ano pong ibang tawag dyan sa 6.3 million? Kapag ang binigay sa'yo, fair value, sound value, or depreciated replacement cost, no? Yun na yung nasa baba. Pero kung ang binigay sa'yo replacement cost lang, yun yung nasa taas. Bakit mahalaga, sir, na alam mo yung nasa taas, alam mo yung nasa baba? Kasi nga, dahil dun sa accumulated depreciation, pag nasa taas yan or replacement cost lang yung binigay, nasa taas ka. Kaya, bawas pa dapat yung accumulated depreciation. Pero kung ang sinabi sa problem, fair value, sound value, and depreciated replacement cost, yun na yung nasa baba. Pag nasa baba na yan, nabawas na dyan yung accumulated depreciation. Alright? So, tingnan natin yung increase. From 5 million, naging 9 million. So, 4 million yung increase ng replacement cost. No? Sa accumulated depreciation naman, nadagdagan ng 1.2. Kaya ang revaluation surplus mo, 2.8 million. Or pwede rin, may other term dyan, itong carrying amount, ipag-compare mo na lang sa fair value or sound value, ilan ba yung in-increase niya? Diba? From 3.5 naging 6.3, kaya ang revaluation surplus mo, 2.8 million. O di na okay ka na, na-compute mo na yung revaluation surplus. Di ba? O, step 2, compute naman natin yung retained earnings or yung retained deficit. Guys, remember yung step-by-step process ko, hindi siya pang kalahatan. Yun lang yung ginawa ko para mas magets mo siya kaagad. No? So, step 1, kinumpute ko muna yung revaluation surplus. Step 2, kinumpute ko yung adjusted deficit. No? Ang sabi kasi yung inventory is to be written down by 400K. Ano ba yung alam natin? Ang alam natin, meron tayong retained earnings deficit na nagkakahalagang 2 million. Negative 2 million na deficit. No? And sabi pa dun sa independent report ng appraiser natin, yung inventory daw is to be written down by 400K. So mababawasan na naman ang asset. So mababawasan ng inventory mo. No? And mababawasan na naman ang retained earnings mo. Okay, i-charge mo yan sa retained earnings mo. Kaya madadagdagan pa yung deficit mo ng 400 million. Alright? O, ito, yung goodwill is to be written off naman. O, di mawawalan ka na naman ng asset. Saan mo i-charge? Sa retained earnings. O, mababawasan na naman or madadagdagan rather yung deficit mo. Mas madadagdagan pa yung deficit. O, lastly, yung unrecorded accounts payable mo amounted to 200K. No? Since mag-equation tayo dyan, diba? So, may unrecorded ka daw na accounts payable, edi i-record mo, dagdagan mo yung liabilities mo, bawasan mo yung equity mo. O, mababawasan mo yan, no? Mabawasan mo yung retained earnings mo. In effect, pag binawasan mo yung earnings mo, mas madadagdagan yung deficit. Okay? So, ang adjusted retained earnings deficit or ang adjusted deficit natin is 2.7 million. O di okay ka na. Na-compute mo na. Na-compute mo na yung revaluation surplus kanina. Alam mo na rin yung retained deficit mo. O, edi charge mo na yung deficit against the revaluation surplus. Parang yung kanina lang, yung sa recapitalization, na meron tayong share premium, meron tayong deficit. O, this time, hindi na to share premium, kundi revaluation surplus na. So, i-charge mo na yung 2.7 sa 2.8, kaya ang adjusted revaluation surplus mo, 100. Alright? Tanong, after quasi-reorganization, what is the adjusted balance of revaluation surplus? 100K. O, kung titignan natin, no, yung statement of financial position after the quasi-reorganization, ito na siya. Remember, yung PPE mo, stated na siya at fair value. Or ito na yung bago niyang carrying amount. Yan na yung bago niyang carrying amount. Yun na yung depreciated replacement cost or yan yung replacement cost na bawas na natin yung accumulated depreciation na prinoportionate natin kanina na 6.3 million. Diba? Na-include na dyan yung revaluation surplus kanina. No? So, yan na yung bagong carrying amount na yan na din yung bago mo cost or depreciable amount na i-depreciate. And lastly, meron din tayong current liabilities na dagdagan din to ng 200K. Kasi kanina, 1.1 million yan. No? Kung mapapansin mo kanina, 1.1 million siya. So, nadagdagan siya ng 200K. And lastly, yung revaluation surplus natin. Diba? Since nabawasan nga ng 2.7 million, 100K na. And remember, hindi nagalaw yung share capital and share premium natin kasi nga hindi tayo nag-recapitalize ngayon. Nag-devalue tayo ng PP. Alright? So, theory question naman. The primary purpose of quasi-reorganization is to give an entity the opportunity to, letter C, eliminate a deficit in retained earnings. Yun yung primary purpose, yun yung puso ng quasi-reorganization. Okay? Immediately after a quasi-reorganization, the retained earnings account, letter A. Wala na, nabanggit ko yan kanina. No, after quasi-reorganization, wala na pong retained earnings deficit. Zero balance na yun. Diba? Na-eliminate na yung deficit. And lastly, an entity with a substantial deficit undertakes a quasi-reorganization. Certain assets will be written down to fair value. Liabilities will remain the same. How would the entries to record the quasi-reorganization affect share capital and retained earnings respectively? No? Kung ang sagot po natin dito or yung sagot natin dito, letters. Pero explain ko lang. Diba? Bakit letter C, sir? Bakit magdi-decrease yung share capital, mag-i-increase yung retained earnings? No? Remember, no, ang ginawa dito, siguro ang silent rule dito is recapitalization. Kasi nga, di ba, share capital kasi yung sinasabi niyang maapektuhan. Kaya na, ang inassume niya dito, nag-recapitalize siya. Yung sa example natin kanina, di ba, pag recapitalization yan, mababawasan yung share capital mo. Kasi nga, ipupunta mo siya sa share premium. No? O di nag-decrease yung share capital mo, letter C nga. Diba? Eh sir, paano yung retained earnings mo? Diba nga, ang retained earnings natin, meron tayong deficit kanina. Diba? Deficit po ang retained earnings natin. And yung retained earnings na yan, magiging zero na siya. Diba? Sinarge nga natin yung share premium against dun sa deficit eh. Kaya yung deficit mo from negative, magiging zero. Diba? In effect, nadagdagan yung retained earnings mo, yung deficit mo. Kasi naging zero siya. Remember? Kasi nga, naging zero balance siya. From negative, naging zero. In effect, nag-increase siya. Yun nga lang, zero balance. Pero nag-increase pa rin siya. Okay? Kasi from negative, magiging zero na siya eh. O zero balance siya, pero nag-increase pa rin. May effect pa rin. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin no effect siya. Kasi nagbago eh. 'Di ba? Nagbago siya eh. Naging zero balance nga lang siya. Pero nag-increase pa rin yun kasi from negative, naging zero. Okay? So, letter C yung sagot. Diyan nagtatapos no, ang quasi-reorganization natin. Very straightforward lang nito. No? Kayang-kaya nyo to. No? Kayang-kaya nyo ang quasi-reorganization. Sana lumabas sa quizzes, sa exam ninyo, and even sa board exam. Muli, no, this is Sir Bon, and nanlalambing na you can mag-subscribe pa kayo for more accounting videos for free. No, bye-bye and see you sa susunod na accounting video. No, and aral mabuti.